A monster producer is a legendary creature who combines multiple skill sets to dominate their market. Are you ready to dominate?
All right, good morning. You guys ready to get better at your follow-up?
Yeah.
How much money do you think is lost in lack of follow-up?
Millions.
See, I've always said, I don't know why I haven't done this yet, but I've always said that I'm going to bring a big trash bag full of $1 million of cash. And at some point during this presentation, I'm going to just rip that trash bag open, and I'm just going to let $1 million fall right down on the table, because I'm telling you, folks, I've been coaching people for 28 years, and if there's one area that everybody on planet Earth needs to get better at, it is their follow-up. And today I want to open your mind to real tactic and real strategy, how to really follow up correctly. See, when I wrote this little book many years ago, I wrote it out of frustration. Typically, I write a book when I'm good and pissed off about something, right? because I sit back and I watch and I'm like, for the love of goodness, why can't we get this right? If you saw how many people pitch me their services in a day from around the world, if you see how many people present an idea to me, then you see how they follow up with me, it is terrible. It's because they either don't go the distance to get and keep my attention, or they don't know how to follow up in a way that helps me make a decision. Okay? If you're in my coaching programs, you hear me say this all the time. The word decide means to kill something off. It means to kill something off. See, the reason I'm taking action with you is because I'm killing something off. I am making a decision. I am moving forward with something, right? So many times you're going to find out that the way you follow up is all wrong. Now, when I wrote this little book, I wrote it for one reason, to help people recapture all of the lost money that they had. Right now, if I said how much money is sitting in your pipeline of people who have indicated an interest in your product or service or doing something with you, how much money would that really be? Would it be enough to get your attention? Would it be enough for you to get better at this? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So I want you to think of follow-up today, because we're going to break this down to a science. Okay? We're probably going to have 250 people online with us all over the world. I'm an in-person room, so when they told me I had to start doing virtual events, I said, I need a PBS special. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all see those PBS specials where Robert Kiyosaki teaches and he's got a live audience? This is my PBS special. Fair enough? So I want you to think of follow-up today as a science. There is a science to this. The better we get at it, the more money we're going to make. The more people we're going to help. Okay? And you're going to find out the reason you follow up like you do is because you got a deep conviction that your product or service can help another person. You're not just following up. Not long ago, a guy I went to high school with reached out to me probably a year ago on Instagram. He reached out to me and said, I'm trying to get my life together. I'm trying to get back together. I'm on drugs. I'm having all kinds of problems. I went to high school with you. You inspire me. I'm reading your books. I'm watching your videos online. You inspire me. I want to get together. I want to come to something. I want to do something with you. He reached out to me and said, I'm interested in you. I need to turn my life around. So we followed up with him. We tried to get him in the room. We called this phone number, it wouldn't work. We called this phone number, it wouldn't work. Well, you need to call my house. Well, you need to do this. And we never got in touch with him. And then one day I was spending time with my mother, and she said, Did you hear about this person? I said, no. I said, what happened? She said, he overdosed. And he died. And at that moment, man, I had guilt. Did we work hard enough to follow up with him? Could we have helped him? I told my team the purpose of the follow-up is way bigger than just making money, folks. See, how hard did we go? So I started looking back through my Instagram messages. How many times did we really follow up with him? How many times did I reach back out to him? How many times did I follow back up with him? I don't know if it could have made a difference or not, but there's a big reason you need to be following up with people. It is to help them. In the process of helping people, you'll generate more revenue. Would you agree? Yeah. So I want you to think of follow-up as there's before, I got to get your attention. And that's a lot of what we're going to focus on today. How do I even get your attention in a crazy busy world? Number two, how do I keep your attention? How do I keep your attention? How do I keep you focused? How do I keep you in a forward position? How do I help you build momentum? Toward what? Making a what? Decision. Okay? How do I bring it to a close? We're going to study that today. I'm going to give you my 7 best closes. We're going to call those conversion points. And conversion points is where you take a person that is interested or has some level of interest and you convert that to an action. You convert that to a decision. There are certain conversion points when you're talking to a person. Okay? Many of you are guilty of what I call sales flirting. You smile, you hand out business cards, you're right, you're real friendly, but what you are not good at is asking for the business. Just saying to a person, if I could help you do this, what would stop you from doing it today? Okay, the purpose of this phone call is to help you make a decision. I can't help you till you commit to something, but once you commit to something, I'm not going to let you fail. Okay, some of you are great at selling and terrible at closing. And that's part of the conversion. Is that part of the follow-up? Yes or no? Yes. So once you bring a person to a close, then there is follow-up after the close. If you want to get referrals, all referrals happen as a result of engagement. If I'm not thinking about you, I'm not talking about you. If I'm not talking about you, I'm not telling other people about you, right? If I'm not thinking about you, I'm not talking about you. And if I'm not talking about you, it's because I haven't heard from you. You don't engage with me. The reason people hate their insurance agents is because they sell them insurance and they never talk to them. They never engage with them, right? So we're going to look at follow-up before, during, and after the sale. But when I wrote this book, it was very narrow. Last night at midnight, I turned in my book, Flip the Switch, to my publisher, McGraw-Hill. I had a deadline of May 31st at midnight. And at 12 o'clock, on the money, last night, I submitted my manuscript for this book. Not 11:59. I still needed one more minute.
How many hours?
At midnight, I pushed that thing across the finish line, right? Now, as soon as I write that book, as soon as it comes out in the bookstores, as soon as it's on Amazon, as soon as it's in Barnes & Nobles, I'm going to read that book and I'm like, dadgummit. Look at all the stuff I left out of that book. Because the book is static, JJ. Once it's written, it's finite. When I wrote this book, I wrote it to follow up on leads. But I want to show you a bigger reason to follow up. When you think about this, this is why fanatical follow-up. This is why fanatical follow-up. Number one, you hear me say this all the time. You don't need more money, you need more people. The people have the money. Is there any shortage of people? Right? No. Mike's got 7 kids. There's 7 prospects right there for you. There is no shortage of people. Therefore, there is no shortage of money. You don't need more money, you need more people. Okay? But our people are of no value in this context unless you follow up with those people. I could put you in front of 2,000 people right now, 10,000 people, 100,000 people, doesn't matter. That is of no value unless you follow up with those people. Would you agree? You can get them excited. They can say, I'm interested. They can say, I'm ready to get started. But until you learn to follow up on that interest, then I could give you as many people as you want, folks. You don't need more money, you need more people. But let me take another step. Unless you follow up with those people and do one of 2 things for them. Solve a problem for them. Money changes hands when problems are solved. Or opportunities are presented. Money changes hands when opportunities. So if I stopped right now and I said, hey, thanks for coming, workshop's over. That's all you need to know. The purpose of the follow-up then is what? Find my problem and solve my problem. And when you find my problem and solve my problem, I am willing to exchange money for that solution. Everybody with me? Okay? It's that simple. So why is the follow-up so hard? Why is it hard to get a person's attention? Why is it hard to get them to pay attention? Here's the deal. This is simple. Newton's law told us this. Newton's law says an object at rest will stay at rest unless acted on by what? See, y'all did pay it. See, your education didn't pay off. I went to college for 9 years, folks. Almost 350 hours of college credit to pursue 3 degrees. They never taught me one course in how to follow up. How to follow up on a dream. How to follow up on a possibility. How to follow up. See, here's your real problem you're facing. An object at rest is going to stay at rest unless acted on by an outside force. See, nobody wakes up and says, man, I can't wait to buy something today. Can't wait to do my taxes, Dwight. Can't wait to do this. Nobody wakes up in the morning wanting to buy something. They wake up at rest. Or if you're dealing with people of interest, people that are moving, people that are shaking, people that are doing something, the other concept of Newton's law is an object in motion stays in motion unless what? Acted on by an outside force. Here's the deal, man. I'm busy. I'm distracted. You're trying to pitch me your services right in the middle of me trying to solve 10 problems. I go home at the end of the day. You guys saw my beautiful wife, Natalie, that's here, and she'll say, hey, did you get to this? Did you get to this? I said, hey, sweetheart, on the scale of the problems I dealt with today, that one's way on down the list. Because I've only got so much bandwidth in a day. Was it right? And I was late coming home one night, and I went to an event and talked to people and blah, 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 and she was on me about being late. And I said, man, do you know how hard it is to be a person of interest in the world? That was the wrong thing to say. You know how hard it is to be a person of interest? That didn't make up for showing up an hour late. Now, here's my point. Part of your follow-up problem is you're trying to sell me something and I'm busy and I'm distracted. And on a scale of 1 to 10, man, where your rank is way down here. Okay, so I'm going to show you a simple formula that I use when I'm following up with people. Okay, it's got to be simple, it's got to be invaluable, it's got to be aligned, it's got to be a priority. If you're trying to sell me something that's got absolutely nothing to do with what I'm trying to do in my life, then it's very hard to sell me something. Would you agree? And the way to know what I've got going on in my life, if you follow me on social media, I tell you, I'm building greatness factories. This is my number one priority right now. I'm trying to do this. Now, if you can help me with that, I'm open to it. If you're trying to help me with something else, maybe I'm not open to it. So these are the problems, right? How many of you have gone somewhere, did an event, did a great job, they really liked you, and then you didn't follow up with those people? Okay, we got real estate agents in the room. I've looked at properties. I've indicated interest in properties before. Indicated interest in a property in Florida last week. It's $4.9 million. I went and looked at it, told them I was interested, told them I thought I could do something with it. The woman still has not followed up with me. A week later. That property is set on the market for sale, commercial property, for 4 years. I'm a legitimate buyer. I'm a qualified buyer. I looked at it. I took time out of my day to go look at it. I said I'm interested in it. I think, right? She ain't followed up with me one time, folks. And on $4.9 million, you do the math on the commission. Okay, it ain't hard, folks. An object at rest stays at rest unless acted on by an outside force. She should have called me that day. Did you like it? What did you like about it? How do you feel about the number? How can we put a deal together, right? She should have called me back the next day. Coach, have you allowed your investors? Coach, I've did the math. All we got to do is add 2 tenants to this. I think you're going to be able to do it. And with this thing, positive cash flow is this much money. We think it's appreciating at this rate. We think in 10 years this property is going to be worth $10 million, not $4 million. See, that's what she should have been doing after I looked at the property, but she didn't. She just let me go on about my life. Now, here's the deal. I'm looking at a number of deals at one time. What if I become disinterested in that deal? Which could happen, yes or no? Yep. Folks, I can be interested in you right now and walk right out that door and get a phone call and be disinterested in you. Right or wrong? Okay? I could totally fall in love with you right now, and in 15 minutes somebody brings me another deal. It's better than the deal you brought me, and I forgot about you. This is the purpose of the fall. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it personally. Okay? I don't mean it personally, but hey, it's the truth, okay? It's a cold, hard truth. If you knew how many times I've spoken at events around the world, somebody walked up crying, hugged me, told me I just changed my life. I'm going to sign up for every coaching program you've ever had. And then we can't find them. We can't find them. We follow up with them. We check in on them. I even ask people, are you still alive? Are you okay? Like I thought you loved what I was doing. You said I changed your life. You even cried on my shoulder, man. Now you don't want to take action on anything? Well, I'm busy. Coach, and I can't tell you how many times people apologize to me and say, I'm sorry, I'm busy, I'm distracted. Okay, they got y'all the VIP seats. There's a bunch over here and there's a bunch over here. Those are the special seats. Those are the ones where you get to look at the deer. Okay? If you guys don't know, we pay the deer to show up in the morning here. Right? About 8 o'clock, the deer show up, everybody takes pictures, and then they go on back to their jobs. Now, let's look at this, okay? Here's, how many of you believe that you've allowed this follow-up problem to be a problem and you haven't been that force? Yes. So I would ask you a simple question. Do you believe in your product or service or not? Yes. Okay then, why would you quit so easily? Some of you quit too easy. Some of you give up when they don't take your phone call. Some of you give up when they don't send you a text message back. The largest coaching contract I have right now, I followed up for 1 year. They did not respond to me. They did not answer my phone calls. I sent videos, text message, follow-up, examples. Every now and then, David, every now and then, you know what I get? A little thumbs up emoji. That's it. They never say, we like it, we're interested, we're buying. And then one day, out of the blue, about 1.5 years into it, I get a phone call. We got a problem, Coach. And the first person we thought of was you. We need you to help us solve this problem. Now let me ask you a question. Would it be worth following up for the biggest contract you've ever signed ever in your life? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Was it worth 1 year of my time following up? Yes or no? Yes. Okay then. See, some of you go one time, you don't get anything back, and you quit. You have to be that force. You have to make up your mind, right? I will see this through to its conclusion. Now, if I go 7 to 15 touches with you and you don't move, you don't acknowledge, you don't indicate interest, I can tell, right? You're going to see today that I make up my mind in 15 seconds if I'm going to pursue you. I give you one statement, what I believe. I look at your body language or I listen to your tone of voice, and then I make up my mind. Am I going the distance or not? I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to try to convince you. I'm not going to try to manipulate you. I'm not going to hard sell you to do something. I'm going to say, this is what I believe. This is what I recommend you do. And based on your response, I'm going to make up my mind if I'm going further. Everybody see that? How many of you have chased somebody for 15 months only to wish you never caught them? And then you couldn't wait to get rid of them. Right or wrong? And every time they call you, like, oh my God, right? If we could just find the person that sold them and was so competitive about selling them. You just had to sell them, didn't you? Okay? So I will extract maximum value from every relationship. Folks, you're going to find out, and I'm covering this month in my coaching program called Acres of Diamonds. You're sitting on millions of dollars right now. It's in your network. You probably don't even need more people. You already got the people you need. In the last 2 years, I've sent 26 referrals to my doctor in Houston, Texas. I've sent over 20 referrals to my real estate agent. Okay? When I believe in somebody, I send them enormous amounts of business because I speak to thousands of people a week. All I care about is just say thank you, man. Just say I appreciate you. Just stay involved in my life. Okay? That's all I want. Just some acknowledgement that I'm helping you advance your mission down the field. That's it. Everybody with me? So here's the deal. Most people get a great client and then they treat everybody equal. All relationships are not equal. If I send you 26 referrals in a year, I should get some extra treatment from you. I should get every now and then at least a little ice cream sundae from Dairy Queen. Right or wrong? That relationship is not the same as somebody sends you one deal over 10 years, folks. So I have what's called a top 25. We don't talk about it today, but 25 relationships that I work. And I stay at the top of those people's minds. And they're influencers. And they're people I stay, right? And those people introduce me to thousands and thousands and thousands of more people. Okay? Not all relationships are equal. Some people deserve more time, more energy, more attention. So you got to make up your mind that you will go the distance in the follow-up. Number one problem most people have is they don't go the distance. They try one time. They send one text message, one phone call, one email, one Facebook message, one Instagram message, and then they give up. Okay? And the problem is you don't have my attention. Trying to sell me something right in the middle of the day when I'm trying to get ready for this event is not a good time to sell me something. Sometimes I tell people, look, you don't have my attention on this. If I don't think I have your attention, I say, look, it appears I don't have your undivided attention. And I really can't articulate my value to you when I don't have your attention. Okay? So you got to make up your mind you will go the distance. Now, so here's what this means. Every day, if an object at rest stays at rest unless acted on by an outside force, this is a real simple formula I use. All day, every day. Number one, I initiate ideas to people. Hey, got an idea. Hey, I saw you're trying to do this. Hey, let me present an opportunity to you. Hey, let me show you how I can help make this a little bit better for you. Hey, let me give you an example of somebody else I've done this for. All day long, every day, I present ideas to people. Everybody with me? Okay, that's it. I initiate. And initiate means to start, means to do something. I don't sit and wait on something to happen. Okay, how many of you have sold over 100 people into your programs in your lifetime? Raise your hand if you sold 100 people. How many of you sold over 500 people? How many of you sold over 1,000 people? Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you ever woken up and said to yourself, I don't have enough leads? I don't have enough people to call. Okay, is that true? Okay, is it true?
No.
Okay, if you sold 100 people, you got 100 people to call, yes or no? Is there not 7 billion people on planet Earth? See, you come to this little city, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you do your homework, you'd figure out that this little city is in the top 15 fastest growing cities in the United States. It is 25 minutes outside of Nashville. Most of the people from Nashville will move this way. There'll be unlimited opportunity. Just right down the road, there's a guy worth $100 million, Victor, that's buying all the land he can find. Now, why is he doing that? Because he knows people will continue. You understand what I'm saying? So you can tell me all day long there's not enough people, there's not enough opportunity, I don't have enough leads. No, that's not true. That is a lie. You need to never say that again. Never. There's enough people, there's enough opportunity, there's enough deals. You just haven't followed up with those people. So I initiate, I disarm people. You say, well, how do you disarm people? I smile a lot. And I be nice. Who ever thought in the world that just being nice would help a person move the ball down the field? But in today's world where people are cynical, pessimistic, negative, just be nice. What's small to you is big to them. Everybody understand? What's a small thing to you is a big thing to them, folks. I then locate a problem. Money changes hands when? How do I locate a problem with you if I don't even know you? Okay, who do we have in the room? Who's a real estate agent in the room? Okay, if I were to ask you a simple question, okay, where are you in relationship to your goals this year? You may say, I'm on track, I'm not on track. How many deals would you like to do? And you may say, well, I'd like to do 48 deals. How many deals are you on track to do? You say, well, I'm on track to do 24 deals. Okay, good. Have I located a problem? Yes or no? Yes. Yeah. See, I already located a problem. Just by asking a simple question. What are your targets this year? Are you on track to hit those? Okay. Now, if you say, absolutely, man, I'm crushing every target I've ever had, okay, then you probably got a different problem. You probably don't have any time to do anything else. Right? That's right. So everybody's got a problem, folks. When I'm talking to people, the reason this is important is because when I am talking to you, I am trying to locate your problem. This tells me what I need to follow up on, what I need to say in my follow-up. And I can do that in one conversation. Okay? How much money are you currently paying in your credit card processing fees? Well, I don't know. Well, if I could figure this out for you, would that be valuable for you? Yes, it would. Okay? If I could show you how I could save you X number of thousands of dollars per month with a little or no friction, would you be open to it? Possibly. Okay, good. Now you locate problems. Money changes hands when? Okay. So when you follow up with me and say you're just checking in with me, how does that solve a problem for me? What about when you say you're just touching base with me? How does that solve a problem for me? What about when you say you woke up thinking about me today? Hey, that's creepy, number one. Okay? Because I didn't wake up thinking about any of you. I'm just going to tell you. Not like that. Right, Ed? Now, here's my point. That's what people say when they follow up. Yes or no? Just checking in, just touching base, just wondering if you have any questions, Brad. None of those things solve my problem for me. That's why we got to get serious about the follow-up. So then I offered them a solution. I pushed them to something in the future. Not all opportunities are opportunities to sell another person something. Sometimes I am calling you just to connect with you, to talk to you, right? It irritates me when people try to sell me something when they don't know what my problems are. And Sharon Lecter, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, sold 42 million copies, told me this at dinner one night. We sat down at dinner, the first time I ever met her and her husband. We're having a nice private dinner, and she looked at me right in the eye, and she said, Michael, what are you trying to do? And I said, here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go to this level. I'm trying to get this many clients. I'm trying to be known in the world. She said, because if anybody ever tries to tell you what to do, before they ask you what are you trying to do, they're just trying to sell you something. You know how many people I've gone to and they try to tell me what I should do? She said, I can't help you until I know what you're trying to do. So in the sales cycle, when I'm talking to people, I say, hey, I got one big question for you. What are you trying to do? And they tell me. Sometimes they say, I don't know, and I say, okay, but most of the time, they tell me. I'm trying to grow my business. I'm trying to scale this up. I'm trying to hire more people. I'm trying to get more deals. I'm trying to generate more leads. I'm trying to find more investors, whatever. Once they tell me, then I know what the problem is, okay? So that night I said, look, Sharon, I'm trying to be the next Covey. I was deeply impacted by Covey. I'm trying to grow an international brand. I'm trying to be an international thought leader, no different than Cardone, Tony Robbins, John Maxwell. Oh, she said, okay, now that I know what you're trying to do, now I know how I can help you. Because she took Rich Dad, Poor Dad and made it a global company. Does that make sense? So she said, now I know exactly how I think I can help you. See, you follow up trying to sell me something that you don't even know if I want or need. You don't know what my problems are. You don't know what my goals are. You don't know what I'm trying to do. And if you did, it would change the way you follow up with me. It's a real simple question. What are you trying to do? Okay, financial advisor, hey, here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have $25 million, man, when I'm 62 years old. I'm trying to draw a distribution of $1 million a year for the rest of my life. Right? I'm trying to work hard now, make as much money as I can so I can do what I want, when I want, how I want. If you could help me do that, then guess what? I'm open to it. Right or wrong? Yes. Okay, now if you don't know that, you're just trying to sell me a product. Yeah. And when you're trying to sell me a product, I'm not open to it. I'm moving to a defensive posture. Okay? So this is a formula I use and teach all over the world. I initiate all day long. Some people I call in that first phone conversation, here's what I figure out. You're not a good fit. Not long ago, I was in Texas where Victor signed up, and I was talking to a woman about my coaching program. She was going to get into my Navy SEAL package, and she asked a simple question. Do I get to spend all day, every day with you for 90 days? And I'm like, hell no, you don't. Like, maybe for $10 million, you could spend all day, every day with me. But that was her question during the sales cycle. If I give you $7,500, do I get to spend all day, every day with you for 90 days? And I'm like, no. I'm like, thank you, ma'am, and good luck to you, okay? This conversation is over. You're not a good fit for me. Everybody understand that? Okay? So my buddy Brad Lee, I was out there doing an event with him in Las Vegas the other day, and a guy called him up and said, man, I want to be coached by you. He said, well, I don't coach people. Coach Burt coaches people. He said, but I do have a program called Be Bradley's Buddy. And to be Bradley's buddy, it's $100,000. We just hang out with each other. And the guy bought it. And Bradley's like, man, I'm like, this is going to be the worst decision you've ever made in your life. Because after about 4 sessions of you hanging out with this dude, okay, you're going to call me and say you wish you never did this. Right? You're looking at the $100,000. I'm looking at the amount of time and energy that he's going to suck out of your life. You understand that? He's like, this is the coolest thing in the world. I said, no, it is not the coolest thing in the world. Okay? Now, so here's my point. So let's look at this. Let's broaden our scope for a second. Let's broaden our scope. Because this is where I want you to do a little bit of work right here. When I wrote the book, it was static. It was on following up on leads. I have since backed up and said, no, follow-up is about these things. Some of you have dreams that you've not followed up on. Let me use another word. You've not followed through on. That's an old basketball term. I was a basketball coach for years. You got dreams, man, you never follow through on. Some of you have ideas. You had ideas over the weekend. You were relaxed. Your mind was in a relaxed state. You had ideas about how you wanted your life to go, your business to run. I always dreamed of coaching people at cool places that I owned. I always dreamed of having places like this that I could coach people, and they would come to me from all over the world. And I could go home at night and see my 10-month-old son, my 1-year-old son now, he turned 1, somewhere between 10 months and 1 year, folks, and my daughter, right? Those are ideas. Some of you need to follow up on leads, right? And we're going to get to that today because we have both short-term and long-term goals. We got to make the trains run. Every day we got to sell something. Every day we got to get the trains running. But we also have bigger dreams, bigger goals, bigger hopes. You need to follow up on opportunity. How many of you have ever had a person say, let's partner on something? Let's do something together. Let's, right? Okay? After I did the event with Bradley out there in Vegas, it went good. Everybody liked it. Here's the deal, man. I followed up, man, with him. What are we going to do something else? What are we going to do next? Who's following up with all the people in the room? How can we partner on something bigger? How do we plan something else for Vegas? Right? He's in motion. He's running a 9-figure business. He's busy. So I just follow up with him. Follow up with him at night, in the morning, on the weekends. I finally catch him on a Sunday afternoon. He's like, all right, let's put the date on the schedule. Let's plan the event. Let's create a funnel. Let's get going. Took me probably 15 times to get one of my best friends' attention to go back and do something bigger with him. Why? Because he's busy. He's busy. That's opportunity, man. Just get in your mind, I don't need more money, I need more people. Any opportunity that leads me to more people is what I'm looking for. Everybody with me? And finally, I want to follow up on strategic partnerships. The way of the future, in my opinion, is collaboration. It is not competition. The way of the future is I have people and you have people. And let's put those people together so we can have access to more people. So a lot of my day is spent forming strategic partnerships with people and spending time with those strategic partnerships. So they become feeder systems to me, and I become feeder systems to them. Everybody see that? It is not on me trying to sell you something. It is me trying to present an opportunity. With you and I together, we can do so much more than we could separate. We are not in competition. See, last week, and this is a mindset thing, I announced that I was opening an accounting division in my company. Why? I've been through several bad experiences with accountants. I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because of poor accountants. I finally found an accounting team that I love, that's timely, that's professional, and I put it out to the market. Coach Bert's opening up an accounting division. Okay? Starting at 2 o'clock that night till 4 in the morning, I got the nastiest, dirtiest, meanest messages from a person you could possibly imagine. That was an accountant. How could you do this? How could you start an accounting division? Why do I have to compete with you? I'm like, I didn't know I had to check with you before I opened something up, number one. But from 2 to 4 o'clock, man, this is the message I get. Over. And they got uglier and meaner and nastier. Right? So I call the person the next day. Hey, man, let's bring this to a close. I don't like leaving these things out. I'm going to give us a chance to reconcile this, right? I'm not trying to do any attention. Now, here's the deal. One of my top coaching members called me the next day and said, who is an accountant, who called me the next day and he said, man, congratulations on starting that accounting division. What a great move. He said, we have a whole team of bookkeepers. We would love to form a strategic partnership with you. Look at the two different mindsets. One thought in terms of competition. Coach Bert's going to take something from me. One thought in terms of, man, no, Coach Bert can add something to me. Everybody see that, right? Those are two people looking at the exact same scenario with two totally different mindsets. You tell me which one you think is going to prosper. So in the world, I want you to start understanding that I spend a lot of my time, some of you are not forming these feeder systems. People that are feeding you business and you're feeding them opportunity. And sometimes you're not feeding them business, you're feeding them support. You're feeding them energy. You're feeding them ideas. You're feeding them something, right? There's these feeder systems. So let's take a minute right now. And out of these things you need to follow up with, I want you to write down some things based on just this one part right here. What are some things you need to follow up on one of these things? Just take a second right now and say, man, I need to follow up on this. Take a minute right now and write that out. Have we already opened up your mind to bigger possibility, yes or no? Okay, right now I'm working with, thanks to my buddy Tim Story. Tim Story's a celebrity life coach out in California. And he and I were on tour together a few years ago. Right in the middle of the pandemic, we went around the country, went to different cities on what we call the comeback tour. And it was me and Tim Story and Sharon Lecter. And throughout that process, people would bring opportunities to me that I couldn't do. Man, I can't do it. I'm booked that day. I said, what you should do is, man, you should get Tim Story. Right? Tim Story will go speak. Right? I'd introduce him to people. Then, the other day, he calls me and said, man, I got a big thing for Paul Mitchell schools. Paul Mitchell has 15,000 students. We have one here. They're all over the country. There's schools that train people, right, in beauty, aesthetics, right? And he said, man, I need you to do this thing for me, which put me in front of 400 Paul Mitchell owners, which have access to 15,000 people. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and I'm presenting ideas. I said, tell you what if we did this? What if we offered every one of those people, I'm just going to do some math to you, because this is the way my mind thinks. I don't think in terms of bluegill. I think in terms of blue marlins. I don't think in terms of small. I think in terms of big. I don't think in one-to-one. I think in one-to-many. So I thought, what if we offered every one of those students my coaching for a year for $97? That's it. Let's make it so ridiculous they can't say no to it. 97 bucks times 15,000 equals $1.455 million. Everybody see that? Now, that helps 15,000 people. They get it at a very cost-effective rate. Everybody with me? They can get it at that because of the sheer volume of what they're doing. Okay? And we generate $1.4 million. That's strategic partnership. So John Maxwell certified 33,000 coaches in his coaching certification. But the problem is those coaches who have certification do not know how to make money with their coaching. So I go to Maxwell and I say, hey, let's offer my coaching for them on how they can make money with their coaching. Because we know how to make money with coaching. Okay? So let's partner. Solves a problem for you because you're certifying people and they have no idea how to make money with this certification. It's good for you, good for us. So let's offer all 33,000 of those a way to make money, and let's just say that only 9,000 of them take it, and let's give them one of my programs for $1,500, and we generated $13.5 million. Now let's divide that by 2, so we both get 50%. Okay, John, you get $6.7 million, and I get $6.7 million. Is that a good deal? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, good deal for him, good deal for me. What does it do? Solves a problem for him. Everybody with me? Yeah. Now, we haven't done that deal yet, but I have presented that deal to them. That's strategic partnership. You have a problem. I have a solution to that problem. All I can do is follow up to present this idea to you. And for $6.7 million, would you at least look at it? Everybody with me? He may come back and say, no, I'm not interested. And that's okay. I'll go to somebody else because there's somebody else that's got 33,000 people too. Right? If I go to you and present an idea and you don't want it, Jeff Bezos went to 62 people and gave them the opportunity to invest in Amazon. He needed $50,000 apiece. Only 20 people took him up on that investment and gave him $50,000. What's that $50,000 worth today? Okay, so here's the deal. How would it feel if you had opportunity to invest in Amazon and you didn't do it? And you were one of the, whatever, X number of people that didn't invest the $50K. Okay? And he told them, there's a 70% chance you're going to lose every dollar you give me. But if it works, it could be big. Okay? Now, here's my point. This is how you need to start seeing follow-up. Bigger plays, bigger opportunities. So when you think about this, what I'm teaching you today is part of a system. Like Mike said earlier, there's a bigger part of a system. What we're teaching is this part right here. This system is called the Monster Growth System. This is a system I've developed over the last 15 years. If I ask you right now, how do you get clients? What's your number 1 way, your number 2 way, your number 3 way, your number 4 way? Could you tell me? What if I ask you how many leads you're getting and you tell me you're not getting enough leads? And I ask you, well, how many more strategies are you willing to use? Okay? So what we do in this system is we teach you, this is what we coach in our coaching program. We teach you how to activate your prey drive. How many of you think it takes prey drive, which is instinct to see something and pursue it, to follow up? Yes. How many of you had somebody you thought you should call today but you hadn't called them yet? Yep. How many of you woke up this morning and you knew there's people that you should be calling? You knew there was opportunity you should be following, but you hadn't followed up with them. Prey drive is instinct. I see it, I think it, I do it. I see it, I think it, I do it. I remove hesitation. I'll walk around on my team and I'll say, who are you working on right now? Who's in your red zone? They'll say so-and-so, and I say, give me the phone right now, let's call them. Well, I plan on calling them later this afternoon. No, we're calling them right now. What's the problem you're dealing with in your company that you don't want to deal with? Here's what you need to do. Deal with it right now. Just tell yourself, I'm doing it right now. I don't want to deal with it, but I'm going to deal with it. Okay? Prey drive is instinct. So we teach people how to activate that prey drive. Then we teach people how to explain their value. And you say, well, how is this tied to follow-up? I only follow up with people who we are in alignment with, that believe the same things I do. So when I say I believe everybody needs a coach in life, and you go, whatever. I'm already real good. That's what I hear a lot. Anybody want to know what my measuring stick is, by the way? If you need a coach or not? If you're not making $1 million a year personally, you need a coach. Did everybody hear that? That's right. When you start making $1 million a year in personal income, then I'll say, you know what, you got something figured out. You still need a coach. Right or wrong? Because there's a difference between $1 million and $2 million. There's a difference between being a millionaire and a multimillionaire. There's a difference between being a single-digit millionaire and a double-digit millionaire. Yes? Yes. Okay. So my point is, when I say to a person, I believe everybody needs a coach in life, and they go, that's good. That's good for other people, but it's not good for me. Right, Doug Freeman? Right? So when people are out there and they say this, so here's the deal. I share my beliefs, and then I make up my mind based on how you respond. Do you and I believe the same things? What am I looking for? Do you have the time? Do you have the interest? Do you have the money? What else am I looking for? That's not only it. Are you hungry? Are you humble? And are you coachable and teachable? And if you're not, I'm out. Okay? I spoke to the top 25 State Farm agents once, and at the end, one of them came up to me. He said, you do know I'm the #1 agent, don't you? I said, yeah, man. They told me. Congratulations. And then I sat down to eat lunch, and he sat beside me to tell me for the next 30 minutes why he was the #1 agent. And after 30 minutes, I said, sir, congratulations. I love you. I'm happy for you. But I got to get up and go talk to other people because there's people in this room that are looking for a coach. And you're obviously not looking for a coach because you are #1. Now, let me ask you a question just before I get up. Are you the #1 agent in the world? Or are you just #1 at one company? Because that's the question you should really be asking. And then I said, enjoy the dessert. Because I got to go talk to people who are hungry, right? How many of you think the #1 person could say, I'm still looking for a coach? Yes or no? Okay, then. That's what I'm looking for. So for you, when you present an idea to another person, they're going to give you feedback. Are they open? Do they like it? Are they interested? Are they humble? Or are they just going to say, I'm out? Okay, would you rather know in 15 seconds or chase somebody for 15 months? Okay, that's what the explanation of service is going to do. Now, then we got to generate leads to follow up with. And this is a big problem for a lot of people, and that's called the legacy selling system. Okay? And then we move to the what? $1 million follow-up, which is what we're talking about today. Once you have leads, how are you following up with those leads? Once you do something, how do you follow up with those things? Okay? Then we move to how do you get referrals, which is what we're covering this month in our coaching program. How do you extract referrals out of your book of business or optimize? And then we end up with how do you become a person of interest? This is a system. You need a system to acquire customers. Does everybody understand that? Now, we got 4 minutes in this session, and then we're going to take a break. When I coach people, I use what's called the whole person theory. And this was taught to me when I was 18 years old by a guy named Dr. Stephen Covey. Covey wrote the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Principle-Centered Leadership, First Things First. And in that book, in 1989 or in the 80s, he introduced that people are made up of 4 parts. A body, that's physical. That represents skill. How many of you believe follow-up is a skill? Yes. Can I teach you that skill, yes or no? Yes. If you're hungry for it, yes, I can. The mind, which represents knowledge. Okay? Some of you don't have proper information about how to follow up correctly. You've been taught incorrectly. So you spend a lot of time chasing, trying to convince a person who has no desire to buy your product or service to buy it. Everybody see that? You don't have the right knowledge. Okay? There is a proper way to follow up. Some of you lack prey drive. That's the heart. You just don't go the distance in your follow-up. You give up too easy. You quit when you meet some opposition. That's a prey drive problem. Some of you lack confidence. You don't know how to close people down. You don't know how to ask a simple question. If I could do this for you, like I have done it for all these other people, what would stop us from doing it right now? I can't help you on this until you commit to something, but once you commit, I'm not going to let you fail. Right? All we're trying to do is move you from A to B. You're at A, and I'm here to help you move to B. Right? You've already told me what your B is, by the way. See, some of you lack this one piece, this confidence. So what you do is you talk a lot to people. You call that selling. How many of you think you could talk to people all day long and still not sell something? How many people think some very skilled people can talk to people for a couple hours and outsell people that talk all day long? How many people believe that? Yeah. I don't have to call 80 people a day. I can call 8 a day. Why? Because my skills are so much stronger than other people's. I know how to have a conversation. I know how to find a problem. I know how to push a person to a close. I know how to overcome an objection. I know how to quickly ascertain if you're legitimate or not. Everybody with me? Those are skills. And I have a high degree of certainty that I can help you. Everybody with me? I've already made up my mind. It's to your benefit to take action with me. Isn't that good? How many of you made up your mind it's to other people's benefit to take action with you? See, I don't want you to go to some bozo that don't know what they're doing. I don't want you to go to a coach that hadn't done anything. I don't want you to go to somebody who haven't done this before. I don't want you to come back to me and say, oh, God, I went cheap. A guy in Houston said the other day, said, man, we can get a coach that's much cheaper than you. I said, yeah, but he won't be any good. Like, you can get a cheaper coach if that's what you want to do. Right? You think an NBA sports team said, hey, who's the cheapest coach we can find? No. Right? They get the best coach. Right? So that's what people say to you, man, I could get it a lot cheaper somewhere else. Of course you could. I'd be happy to pick up the phone and introduce you to him. I introduce you to, right? To Larry the life coach, and he could change your whole life. Now, here's my point, folks. When there is a real Larry the life coach, so okay, that's another story. Now, here's the deal. Right now, if I ask you what you think you're missing, which one of these 4 parts? Because if I was coaching you, I'm very quickly trying to figure this out. Oh, she lacks knowledge. Oh, she lacks skill. Oh, she lacks prey drive. Oh, she lacks confidence. See where I'm going? Yeah. If you follow up with me and you don't have these things, I'm going to detect it. I'm going to detect that you're an amateur. And amateurs make amateur money. Yeah. Professionals make the most money because they're the best. There's only 400 players in the NBA. Charles Barkley was bigger than everybody else in high school, so he played all the time. Then he chose to go to Auburn because it was, at that time, the worst school in the SEC. He said that. He said, I was out of shape, and I played at Auburn, and I beat everybody because I was bigger and stronger than everybody else. Then I went to the NBA, and then I sat on the bench. And Moses Malone came to me and said, you're never going to play in the NBA being out of shape, man. Until you get down to 250 pounds, until you get better, you're going to sit on that bench because there's only 400 of the top people in the world that play in the NBA. You got to make up your mind if you're going to be an amateur, you're going to be a professional. If you want to make pro money, then you got to up your follow-up game. Okay? Now, throughout the day, we're going to be giving you some opportunities. Those opportunities are the ability to spend time with me in different settings. Okay? And I'm going to present these opportunities to you right up front so you can be thinking about if any of these fit you and what you're trying to do. Today, I am exposing you to follow-up. For many of you, it'll change the way you follow up forever. Would you agree? Okay? But it's just exposure. Some of you I have been coaching for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Trevor, who do you think makes the most money in my coaching program? The people who've been with me for how many years? At least 5. Anybody earning over $500,000 or above, I have been their coach for at least 5 years. The people who are earning $1 million to $4 million a year personally, I have been their coach for at least 7 years. Everybody see that? Okay? So today I'm exposing you to follow-up. But I'm going to encourage you to get serious about going pro, man. And if you get serious, my coaching program is weekly. Weekly coaching for me, it's $83 a month. For the people who take action today, we're going to throw in a 2-day boot camp for you. We're going to give you 2 days with me at the lodge on the Monster Growth System, the whole system. I say it's a fair deal, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Ed's paying a lot more, so I hope you'd say that, Ed. Good. Now, here's my point. So if you're interested in that today, my team's going to be here to help you. Now, some of you go, hey, I'm already in the coaching program. So we developed another opportunity. And the next opportunity is simple. Some of you are going to want to solve your follow-up problems forever. So what I'm going to do for a group of 24 people, because we got 250 online, is I'm going to take 24 people to come back here for a full day with me where we literally build out your follow-up plan. That means we're going to build your before, during, and after follow-up. We're going to role play. We're going to test. We're going to handle objection. When you walk out of here, you will have a follow-up plan for how long, Mike? Forever. How many of you would like to have a follow-up plan forever? Where you really get in a room and you really lock down and you walk out of here with an automated structure. I'll show you how I generate 3,000 leads in 90 days. I'll show you how I follow up like a fanatic to close those deals. I'll show you exactly how we close millions of dollars of business by our follow-ups. Everybody with that, okay? So for 24 people, you're going to want to do that in July to come back, okay? And then finally, I've never done this in my life. I was in Florida last week with a group of insurance people, and I said, man, if you could invest anything with me, out of everything we offer, what would you invest in? These were 4 insurance guys. And they said, you know what we'd invest in, Coach? If we could work with you for a day. If we could go pro with you, if we could just watch how you work, if you created a day called Work with Coach Burt Day, like work with a pro day. It's like, right? It's like bring your kid to school day. Everybody with me? And they said, man, if you would create a day where we could just watch how you follow up, listen to your phone calls, listen to how you close deals, literally see the intensity that you work with every day. They said, man, that would be so valuable for us to just watch you work for a day. So guess what? We created it. It's Work with the Pro Day, okay? So there's going to be some of you that go, you know what? I am very activated. My pray drive is very activated when I'm in the presence of somebody doing something big. How many of y'all are like that? When you watch a pro work. Why don't we go watch Jordan practice when he played? Why don't we go watch the best do it, right? So we created a day for you to come and literally show up at Michael Bird Enterprises at the Greatness Factory and work with me, right? You'll see me make phone calls, meet with my team, follow up with people, put deals together, concoct these deals, these multi-million-dollar deals, where I'm sitting here going, let's work it this way. Let's work it this way. Who can we work? Who can we call? Who can we follow up with? So the third opportunity for you to partner with me that we're going to be offering you throughout the day is, man, work with Coach Burt for a day. Okay? And there's going to be some of you who say, man, that's it. That's what I'd like to do. So throughout the day, if you'd like to do any of these things with us, as we work through this, just let any of our team members know, hey, I'd like to come back and work on my follow-up on the 14th of July. I'd like to sign up for the coaching program. I'd like to work with Coach Burt for a day. Now, here's the deal. When you work with me, we don't whine, we don't complain, we don't make excuses. Everybody with me? Okay? We don't talk about drama. We don't talk about last week. We don't talk about what's going on. We don't talk about your cousins and in-laws. What we do is we get in there and we sell something. Everybody with me? So I'll close on this session. I invited 3 20-year-olds to go with me on my jet somewhere one day where I was going to speak in 2 different cities. And they went with me, and then the next day they complained about it because they said I didn't talk to them enough. They flew on a private jet, and instead of extracting value and watching me work, and put deals together, they complained. And I let them go for free. Okay? And I said, man, I'm never doing that again. See, if you put me on a private jet at 22 years old, watching a dude put together deals, man, I would have been sitting there taking notes and notes and notes. I would ask any question I wanted to ask. It is the learner's responsibility to extract the value from the teacher. It is not the teacher's responsibility to give it to you. It is your job to get it. Okay? So, throughout the day, you got plenty of opportunities to partner and do some things with us, okay? So I'm having fun. Y'all having fun? Yeah. All right, let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll keep on going, all right? Good first session, guys. Thank you.